Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to your March forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Really great to see everybody. You can see Apollo hanging out in the background. He's resting, so I'll let him do his thing, and we've got a lot to talk about. If you're brand new here, this is a monthly forecast. It's going to help you basically plan for everything over the next 4 or 5 weeks, and we're going to start off, as always, with some channeled messages. So what's coming through in this month ahead is themes of healing. What Spirit showed to me as I was meditating on your sign was an aloe vera plant. Of course, that has natural healing sort of qualities. And to me, though, as I was really meditating on it, it wasn't just about the body, although that absolutely can be part of this, especially if you're dealing with any sort of, rehabilitation, etc. But I felt like it was more what you would see maybe with like even Five of Pentacles, healing wounds from the past, maybe even healing financial situations. And one of the big takeaways as I was tuning in here was give it time. It takes time to get into situations. It takes time to get out of situations. The other thing here is growth. Because I did see a plant, we could also imagine like Seven of Pentacles energy where things are starting to rebound. Maybe, yes, there was something that was pruned or there was a little bit of a scar, but then growth comes right on the heels of that. So what I'm going to look for as we take a look at the spread of cards here are areas where you want to give yourself a little bit more time, places where the growth is already happening, and then some other twists and turns that might be coming through. We'll kind of open it up and see what Spirit has to say. Take a moment, if you will, close your eyes. Imagine that you are standing and watching the sun rise in the morning and that you feel these rays of sunshine wrap around your body. Plant your feet on the ground and let's call in the angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. And we will begin. All of my readings can be used for sun, rising, or moon sign. So feel free to watch. You can also watch on behalf of someone that you love as well. Already I can see some significant changes and movement happening. Very interesting that we also got that healing energy right off the bat here with the Seven of Pentacles. Love when there's a synchronicity like that. All right, I can feel, we have 2 cards here? Yes. Let's take a look at your dual catalyst energy. All right, let's look at the 2 cards. The first is the riddle, and the second is the offering. We'll begin with the riddle. I think I know what this is about for you. If we take a look at the spread here, there is a question that's kind of being presented here by the Guardian. The Guardian, by the way, represents the devil, and it's kind of standing there asking you, are you sure you want to do this? There's a part of you, too, that could be thinking, am I done with this? Is this still serving me? And we can see in the recent past, kind of hidden here, we have the Journey, which is basically the death card. So we have something that's come to a close, but there's still the attachment. And if we look at a traditional devil card, you can see there's always chains that kind of hold you to something. And I think some of you may still be feeling the chains of attachment. So there's a question, are you ready? Are you done with this? And for some of you, it's just a little bit of doubt or attachment that's holding you back. But what I'm getting from Spirit is if you have to ask the question, typically that in and of itself is the answer, particularly if If you're not sure, like, should I do this? Is this the right person, place, or thing? Maybe pause. Pause until there's a level of certainty, okay? So pay attention to that kind of doubt. It's usually intuition coming through, trying to save you from making a step that is cyclically repetitive, right? It's also just about curiosity. If there's something that you don't understand, speak up, use your voice, find that information, because knowledge is power. Knowledge will help you make a better and more grounded decision. So that's the first very powerful message. Then we have something coming through that is going to replace whatever it is that you might be saying goodbye to. So we have death exiting, but then we have some really cool things here. Like I said, 7 of Pentacles, healing, 2 of Wands, some new things, and we have an ace right here, Ace of Pentacles. So I can already see new and better upgrades coming through. So whatever you need to release, don't feel like that's the end all be all. In fact, quite the opposite. We see that when you're ready to release things, the universe is ready to step in and provide something bigger, better, and brighter. Let's get started with your center card. The center card is the King of Pentacles in reverse. When I first looked at this, because they're using stones instead of coins or pentacles, I thought swords. So I'm getting a little bit of both messages here, and I want to merge them together. Swords would be about communication, but pentacles, we're taking the communication into a very specific realm, and it's about value or worth. And because the pentacles were reversed here, there may be something in your life where you're feeling like you're not grounded, maybe that you're not appreciated, or something that once fulfilled you is kind of leaving you wanting or needing more. And it's okay from time to time for us to change our mind and change our focus in what matters most. So this is a great time to kind of do that internal audit, and if something is missing, if something isn't as fulfilling as it used to be, you get to make a decision now on how you want to remedy that. There's a general warning with the King of Pentacles in reverse, which is don't go to an extreme, particularly when we're looking at overworking. Sometimes it's also overeating or just doing anything in excess. You really want to take care of yourself and make sure that you're feeling grounded, feeling appreciated, and if anything is off in that area, that would be the first thing to focus on this month. On top of this could be what is muting some of the ability to communicate. So the 10 of Wands is a great card, but it can sometimes represent pressure. It can be pushy when it's one of the crossing cards or a clarifying card. And there can be someone pushing you to say or do something because it's what they want, not what you want. Push right back. You are so close to accomplishing something that you want or getting to that next level that it's okay to say no. Some of you may also be on the precipice of moving. So it might be within a month or two, you might be unpacking. There could also be something that is very close to completion. And these last couple of moments are the most difficult, right? Whether it's a couple of weeks or a couple of months in front of you, take your time, really allow yourself to appreciate the progress that you've made. And then, of course, if you are feeling that sense of being overwhelmed, reach out and get the support that you need. Ask for help, take your time, rest, recalibrate, and then, of course, finish what you've started. That's the main takeaway here. Now, we do have an additional caption here mentioning responsibility. And so for some of you, the feeling of responsibility can also sometimes make you feel pressured to say or do something. This is your life to live. We have family coming through here in the environment. So I can see that connection and that obligation sometimes to please them. But please, in this moment, you can be the lone wolf. You have to please yourself as well. Let's take a look at your deep past here. So as we look at the karma of the past here, it's really about being more decisive. It's hard, isn't it, when you have to rely on your own decision-making versus talking to a teacher or a parent or a friend or listening to a family member. All of that is still there, but it's as if Spirit wants you to amplify your own inner voice, your own consciousness and your own conscience. And it's helping you validate and understand that it's always been there, and it's just as strong and just as powerful as the other voices. So yes, seek the other counsel as needed, but also trust your own. We also see for many of you that you're righting a wrong. For some of you, it's important here to make that choice. What's right for you may not be right for everybody else, and that's okay. Trusting your own sort of values, needs, and intuition, they're going to lead you in the right direction. You're sharpening your compass a bit. What's beautiful on this is that we see that what makes sense on a financial perspective isn't always what feels right on an emotional perspective. So for many of you, you're choosing something because it fulfills you, not because it necessarily, it's like what your parents expect, what society expects, or what looks right on black and white paper. It's not always like that clear. So you're looking at the shades of gray in between and using your intuition to make the choice that's right for you. Again, if it's not clear, ask. Now for the most powerful of these cards here, we have death coming through. Death is a cyclical, natural, important sort of energy here. We see the cycle of life and death, and even how some animals work with that. We have a carrion crow here. Let's look at the traditional death card here, because it tells an even deeper story. So there's a king, there's a child, there's a mother, there's also a papal figure here. Every walk of life, every stage of life has to go through metamorphosis, whether it's birth or graduation or marriage or the physical death. There are these changes that we can't avoid. And it feels like you're stepping into a necessary chapter change. Like you're turning the page, and it's new and it's fresh and it's different. And it's also exactly what the universe needs and wants you to experience in this moment. And the only thing that could hold you back is a fear of moving through the doorway that is represented here. Typically it's in the death card, but the devil's kind of standing in that doorway, blocking you a little bit. So don't be afraid to move to the next thing. Also, if there's something in your life that is creating stagnation, because this card can also represent that, it's okay to release that as well. Let's talk a little bit about the Guardian. This is a very unusual version of the devil. And so I believe that the Guardian and the riddle are connected in this spread. There is a question. Are you sure you want to do this? And it is your higher self coming through saying, this habit, this person, this contract doesn't serve you. You already know what it is in your life where that question is. Listen to the voice that says, I probably shouldn't do this. That's going to bring you in a better direction. This can be a temptation. This can be an attachment, because we see the chains there. Whatever has held you in place, we can actually use the tool of the death card, the scythe, and just say, I'm done with that. I'm going to reap a better reward and future by moving beyond that. I'm going to cut the chains. So you have the tools at your disposal in order to get through this. It is completely avoidable. Again, the question in your mind, should I really do that, is going to help stop you from doing something unnecessary, or connecting with someone unnecessary, or taking the bait if someone is trying to argue or whatever it is. You'll see it, you'll recognize it, and hopefully you'll pass on that. Okay, by the way, this could also be a wake-up call with respect to health. The journey is in the past. The devil is coming through and trying to kind of like scare you a little bit, but you are not scared. You're like, I've been through that. I've accepted the wake-up call, and I'm moving in a new direction. And that is what we see here. And so this card was reversed, but I want to pull it in the upright position. 7 of Pentacles, healing. And I mentioned that I was picking up on more of a healing vibe from the aloe imagery. So for some of you, there's a reminder here that, like I said, if it takes a while to get into a situation, it takes a little bit of time to get out of it. The body takes time to heal, whether it's a bone or it's your emotions or something like that. Don't rush the healing process. It's so valuable. And if you heal properly, you can rebound and have a very normal, sort of next chapter as well. Financially, you also don't want to overextend yourself here. It takes time to get back on your feet when it comes to emotions and finance and the body. So slow, steady, and very mindful of limits. So create the boundaries. Don't push yourself beyond those boundaries or let someone else do that. And I think as long as you give yourself time and space, you'll be okay. There could be a tendency to not give yourself the support that you need. So I love that we see someone resting and someone facilitating the healing. So for some of you, you might be looking for someone that can help with this, help you meditate, help you exercise. Maybe there's, massage or acupuncture or something of that nature. If you normally deny yourself those things, please prioritize mind, body, and spirit this month. It will help you, and you are headed towards a better tomorrow. Whatever challenges of the past might have existed, I'm not seeing them here, provided that you don't push yourself too much. Okay, let's take a look at you. I love that we have a sly fox here, but there is a little bit of overthinking that's coming through, so let's break that down. Knight of Wands is an introspective card. When it's reversed, it's saying slow down any sort of movement or action and ask yourself, kind of like the riddle, is it right for me? This is a new question with this one, not should I do it, but is it right for me? If so, why am I delaying? If not, what do I want? So it's almost like you're playing a bit of it's not an interpreter, it's really more of like a journalist, and you're asking yourself what you want. And again, this could be because if we look at your environment, the answer is there. There's another voice from a family member, it looks like, because 10 of Pentacles is friends and family. And then we have this page coming in and asking or speaking or whispering. So there's someone else around you that often gets into your head and makes you doubt yourself. So I feel like right now, this isn't for everybody, but for some of you, if that voice exists, we're going to mute that and turn your own up. And follow the passion. That's the main thing here. So if that voice isn't in the environment, what we see here is then just a chance for you to stop worrying about what others might think, or stop worrying about a worst case outcome, because I'm not seeing it here. I'm seeing really positive traction in the future. So some of you may be really pragmatic and really practical, and maybe there's just a little bit of going down a rabbit hole worrying about something that you don't need to. So trust your instincts, follow your passion, think but don't overthink. And then once you're clear on the path that you want, you can continue moving forward, okay? You may also just be simply looking for some inspiration. So sometimes when one of the court cards in the suit of wands is reversed, it's just an invitation to say, what makes my heart skip a beat? What makes me get excited about getting up in the morning? And maybe you're going to put something on your calendar 1 or 2 or 3 months in the future to get you excited, to get you inspired. A long-term goal or passion could really help reignite your purpose, your focus, and help kind of align you to your soul's path as well. All right, let's take a look at your environment. There are a couple of great things here. First of all, the Page of Swords can just represent good news. And then we have 10 of Pentacles, which is amazing when it comes to opportunities, resources, finances. Page of Swords in reverse. Again, it's all about getting what you need or want, asking a question. If there is a contract or if there is a document in front of you, there's something in the fine print that you need to look at. There might be something that you can advocate and get a little bit more. So this is saying, how about this? Or asking that question and getting the clarity. Also saying no if it doesn't sound or feel right. This is also encouraging you to listen. There might be a great opportunity that kind of is just in the environment. Someone says something in passing, and good business people or entrepreneurs, they file that away. They're like, that's a great idea. Or it could be your own thought. And you're like, I need to write that down. Write it down. Then we see the 10 of Pentacles. Some of you might also be looking at buying or selling a home. We literally have that in the caption on this card. This also represents the network of people in your life with respect to your finances. So this month in particular, whether you're a student or if you have a regular job, or even if you're retired, we're looking at the importance of maintaining those connections, because there's something that can come through that existing network. Of course, family is playing a big role here. If you're in a relationship, things could be getting serious. This represents commitment, putting down some roots. So I actually love what I see in the environment here. It's important to listen and pay attention so that you can pick up on these opportunities and reel them in. All right, we have another one coming through here in Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities. So the offering is multiple, or bountiful, I should say, this month. It's not just one thing. There could be a couple of things that are coming forth. This Ace of Pentacles is in reverse, so you may have to reach for it. And actually, that's what we see in here. So in ace cards, you typically will see a hand holding the element or object that's represented by that suit. And you could either be receiving or giving or reaching for. So in this case, I feel like it's more reaching for and saying, I'd like to talk about this, or I'm interested in that, or can I have more of this? It may be on everyone else's minds, but here's where the powerful thing is. If you're the one to articulate it, you're also going to now be seen as the leader, because everyone else is thinking, gosh, I wish I would have said that. Yes, that makes sense. And then they see you as someone who is willing to say what needs to be said, do what needs to be done at just the right time. That is why you have to really listen to yourself and trust yourself. There could also be something where you're deciding, I'm going to move some of my existing resources, because we have an upright 10 of Pentacles and then we have a reversed ace. I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to invest it or put it in this area. That's absolutely fine if that's what you want. This is a chance for you to kind of shake and move and reorganize things if you want to. And then in the outcome here, we have the 2 of Wands. It's your decision. It's your choice. It's not always fun when it is your choice, but it is so much more powerful when you get to be the one that says, I want this, I need this, etc. Now, what's missing from this 2 of Wands, and I'll get the traditional one in just a second, is the globe. So traditionally speaking, there's a person that's looking at where they're at and where they want to be. And so the most powerful thing you can do this month, at this moment, is plan and dream. And it's a kind of a combination of both. So if you're constantly going and doing and making everyone else happy, you're not giving yourself enough time to think about what it is that you want, what you need, and also just kind of do a little bit of analysis and say, how am I tracking to these goals? So, we get graded when we're in school. When you have a traditional job, someone else checks in and gives their thoughts. But in our own life, it's up to us. So here's the traditional 2 of Wands. That person is kind of analyzing and saying, how am I tracking to the goal? What do I want to do next? Give yourself time to do that this month. You'll be happy that you did. There could also be some really great intuitive thoughts coming forth. Like I said, this page can just be writing things down. So write them down, record them, and then also in real time, speak up. That's something that doing this for a living has taught me. When you get an intuitive vibe, just share it and then move on to the next thing. All right, we're going to expand this a little bit deeper. We're going to go into health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with the energy of health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. All right, we talked about this earlier. We have Hades representing death and rebirth, a cyclical shift, a change for the better. And so you got this twice. This could be, for some of you, literally losing someone in your life or dealing with a major health change. For everyone else, I think it's about releasing this. So again, that is just a different version of the devil card here. So for some of you, you're saying, I don't need or want that energy anymore. I'm ready to move in a new direction, and you're choosing to do so. Let's go ahead and look at everything that's going on here in the spread, and we'll give some additional light to this in just a moment. So healing takes time. Back to the traditional, not the traditional, but the original message when I channeled it. Don't rush yourself. Give yourself time and space. And again, if you need some support in your life, now is the time to get that. This can also be stagnation. So if there's something that is just not giving you the growth you need or is creating this sort of feeling of being stuck, now is the time to release that. 2 of Swords can represent ignoring something. And sometimes it's an ache or a pain. Sometimes it's a habit. Whatever it is that you have previously ignored, it's coming forth now and saying, heal me, release me, allow yourself now to not have to deal with this, and hopefully save yourself from challenges down the line. Listen to something small before it becomes something bigger. If you have an ear infection, if you have anything like a sore throat, anything affecting your sinuses, please speak with a doctor. And obviously, the 2 of Swords can be eyes and ears too. So this is a great time to get those annual physicals and checkups when it comes to hearing and seeing. You may also be looking at different places to live. The 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles is home, the 10 of Wands is travel, and the 2 of Wands is weighing out like where you want to be, where you want to spend your time. And maybe for some of you, you're researching and deciding, do I want to stay? Do I want to go? Is it time to move in a new direction? The big thing that I see here, though, is changing up the routine. What used to work doesn't work now, so it's time to try something new, something different. Cleaning the house is going to be really helpful. Ask for some help if you need that. Sometimes there are people that are just, they love organizing and that's their sort of thing. And if it's not yours, work with someone there. I mentioned this earlier, but the King of Pentacles in reverse does have a cautionary note not to overdo things. And it can be anything from work to diet to exercise. Sometimes it's well-intentioned, sometimes it's a vice. And because we got the Devil card and the Death card, you'll be able to identify that and know when enough is enough. Overall, I like what I'm seeing here, though. The challenges, for many of you, you already know what they are. Again, it's something where your higher self is coming through saying, are you sure you want to do that? Do we really want to repeat that cycle? So let those sorts of things go and embrace the new stuff. Change is the name of the game here, okay? Let's move on from health and take a look at wealth, which is resources, life, purpose, and career. We have Green Tara coming through here with supreme protection here. Let's read the whole card. It says, you are protected, cords are being cut, move beyond the limitations, and trust. Amen to each and every one of those things. We talked about this representing the cords or the things that are kind of holding you back. And again, if we look at the traditional version of the Death card, it is carrying a sickle or scythe, and it can just cut through those cords. So cord cutting is important when you're looking at how you're spending your time, energy, or money. That's all comprised within resources. So if there's something that you've been putting too much time or energy into, but not seeing a return, it's time to let it go. And protect yourself and protect the people around you the most, rather than trying to please everybody else. This is about grounding, self-preservation, and again, bringing the immediate family that you love into that sort of protective circle and cycle. Let's go ahead now and break this down into 5 major categories, and then we'll revisit the cards here as needed. So I can basically cover everybody's needs and situations. All right, we're going to look at those of you that are currently employed. Then we'll go to those that might own their own business, followed up by those who are seeking employment. And then we're going to move on to students, and finally, retirees. All right. In this particular portion, there's a decent amount of reversals, so a lot of recalibration. Let's start off first with those that are currently employed. So, Page of Wands. Again, most of the pages this month have been reversed, so it's about questioning, and that it aligns perfectly with this. There's something that may not be clear. So with Page of Wands, it has to do with understanding the general concept or vision. And I get the feeling that for some of you, there may not be great leadership, right? So the Devil and the Death card can represent stagnation or change of leadership or lacking leadership. And you're coming through and saying, are you sure you meant this, or how about this? You could come through with a solution or some clarification. Ask. You never want to move forward, make a mistake, and wish that you would have just simply said, did you mean this, or do you want this, or when do you need this? Ask those questions. It will save you time down the line. There's also like a light bulb represented by this card, like an aha moment or an epiphany. I want you, as we talked about earlier, or I encourage you, I should say, to record, to write down, and to articulate those great ideas as they start to come through, rather than waiting, because sometimes it is the early bird that gets the worm, and we want you to get credit for the great ideas that you are bringing forth. Other things that I'm seeing here, you have a really great chance this month to widen your network. So say yes to any sort of professional opportunities like a conference or a seminar, or if you want to go to school and get some training, all of those things where you could meet people. There's so many people you could actually connect with this month. It's really valuable. What I see causing some challenges, promises that aren't kept. So if you've been promised a promotion, or if someone says, you know what, we'll remember all the work that you've done, I see a lack of progress on that. And then also a reminder here not to do something that doesn't feel right. That guardian is just making sure that you don't get pushed or convinced that you should go down a path that is either morally, legally, or just energetically not compatible with who you are or what you're trying to bring forth, okay? Trust yourself on that. I see that for some of you, time, energy, or money is stretched thin, so be the voice of reason if people are asking for too much. Overall, I think you're fine. These are avoidable. You should be able to see them from a mile away, and the rest we've kind of highlighted already. All right. One thing that I would say is, again, as long as you get something in writing, you have a chance of having a breakthrough here, but don't accept something just on a handshake or a promise. All right, let's move on to those of you that are self-employed or entrepreneurs. We have a Sun card in reverse, and this is about letting something go. You may have a perfectionist tendency, and I feel like something is closer to completion. I mean, we have the 10 of Wands here. That's actually completion. So let it be. Move on to the next big thing. There could also be some power struggles. So this card, when reversed, can represent someone that's kind of giving you a tug of war. And again, the traditional Devil card, especially if we look at the bottom, it's all about the chains. And so this is basically you saying, this is my boundary, this is my expectation. No putting those sort of lines in the sand when necessary, and finding your voice. This is going to be so key. If there is somebody that's doing something they shouldn't, you may decide to get litigious, because this is a business we're reading for, entrepreneurs. So get someone involved to push back on that, particularly if someone is like using your brand without permission or something like that. Otherwise, I just think this could be a great period for a launch, to kind of go into the next big thing. Before launching, also make sure that you have someone research, because there could be a previous instance of something being used. You're going to have to make sure that the branding is not encroaching on other sort of copyrights or trademarks. So usually when you have a lawyer that registers it, they do an existing search. It's a very specific thing, but I'm picking up on that. Look beyond the current project or the current thing that you're doing, because it feels like there's 1, 2, or 3 things on the horizon. And that's why fixating on this one thing isn't worth it. It's time to release. It's time to move forward. Again, you're closer to completion than you may realize. All right. Generally speaking, pretty good. The protection piece here is important. Intellectual property. Protect your intellectual property as well. Make sure that you register for copyright protection and things of that nature. Okay. I actually really love that we have 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, and Ace here. So we see growth, slow and steady. We see an opportunity that's knocking. You want to be discerning with it. And then ask for more if you need it in a deal, especially if you're bringing in a partner or something of that nature. All right, let's move on to job seekers. So in this one, we have a change of perspective here, the 5 of Cups. It can be very, particularly from an ego perspective, it can be disheartening or challenging when you're in the job seeking mode, because sometimes you wait forever, sometimes you get a rejection. I like to kind of recalibrate whenever I'm trying to create something opportunistically like that. And when doors shut, I realize that others are opening, and I'd like to kind of share that analogy if that helps you. So rejection is a form of protection, even though it isn't a lot of fun. This person is focusing on being more positive, ecstatic, and knowing that like attracts like. So when you are positive, you can find opportunities that may also be positive. I can give you some advice here. Traveling or relocating could be a part of this. What we're seeing here is paths that are leading to dead ends. And then if you move or shift it in a new direction, doors start to open up. So this one is blocked. We literally see the devil at this one. This one is open. Don't push through a door that has been closed. There are better ones waiting for you. It could be that you need to look in a different geographic location. It could be looking at a different area of the industry, somehow shaking it up a little bit. That's going to be advantageous. There could be a couple of opportunities in front of you. I really want you to be inquisitive and get to the fine print, ask the questions that you need, and ask for a little bit more if it feels like you're falling short here on the negotiation portion. And it's who you know, not necessarily just what you know. So there could be a contact that can get it pushed through the door. So reach out, ask if you know someone either on LinkedIn or you just know that they work there. this is the time to call in that favor. Okay? Moving on to students, we have the Eight of Pentacles. You can't get much better than this because Eight of Pentacles is an apprenticeship card. It's all about expanding one's knowledge. And this is basically validating that you're exactly where you need to be. We see skill coming through here. So one of the things that this is really encouraging you to do is to lean into the fact that this is one period in time where you can absolutely just be a sponge and absorb. Focus on kind of like geeking out in the learning process, not being so fearful or having so much anxiety about the next step, really focusing on being as present as possible. There's a helping hand up here, and this is a reminder to reach out for help if you would like to. And most of this is just about rolling up your sleeves and really getting involved in the process of either creating or learning. So because we have an apprentice card, this could also be about an internship. So this is a perfect time to look for that. And as we take a look at these cards, this is a study abroad card if I've ever seen it, as is this. So making sure that you're getting a very diverse set of experiences when it comes to job and internship experience, possibly looking to study in a different city, state, country, or province. Let's see what else is coming through here. It's your path and it's your future. So when we see things like the journey, I love that this is what death is represented as in this deck. This is your path, not your parents, not your teachers, not society. So you have to do what feels right and stand your ground. The Guardian is also just saying, no, I don't want to go through that door. I want to go through this door. Okay? You have to do what feels right to you, what feels most connected to you. All right? So trust in that. Finally, moving on to those of you that are retired, we have picking up the pieces here, the Eight of Swords, but it's a release to that sort of struggle. So we got the two blindfolded cards here, Eight of Swords and Two of Swords coming through. This time around, it is an unveiling or a revealing sort of energy. We're releasing a prison of thought here. And I would hope that that would come through in retirement. It's saying, I've done all of this. What haven't I done? What is really more related to me in this moment in time? For some of you, you may decide to travel a little bit. You may decide to invest in yourself. I look at this card and it could be downsizing. We're looking at the home. It's in the upright position. It might be the right time to sell. So you might be looking at that. Make sure that you get what your home is worth, though, because this is slightly under. Don't take an offer that's less than what you need. Also, make sure that you have that next chapter fully planned out. I think the most important thing here is to dream and to research. And you don't have to make the decision immediately. This is a month to expand your experiences, your knowledge, get curious, get informed, and see where that takes you. Let's go ahead and move on to love. And for love here, we have a beautiful card coming forth. Speaking of the awareness here, we have it here with Buddha. It says, heightened awareness. Make peace with your thoughts and your world, perfectly aligned to what I was talking about for retirees. Spend time researching, meditating, exploring. And for many of you, you might be doing this with a loved one, whether it's a friend, a colleague, or your partner. Let's break it down into 3 categories and see how this connects with all of you. All right, we're going to look at those of you that are currently in a relationship. Then we'll take a look at those that are seeking love, followed by those that are single and happy. For those of you in a relationship, the Judgment card is really powerful. It represents reinvention, rebirth, and going the next level, basically. But there is a question, which is basically, are you ready and do you want this? And that's been a common theme this month, is checking in and making sure that it feels right for you. That's why your outcome is the Two of Wands. We go from indecision and questioning to decision making and decisive energy. So if you have the Death card here, so the journey represents death, and this was in the recent past. So if you've been through this, if a door is closed, a new one's opening here, and it's basically saying, so you went through that. Are you still in it together? Are you still ready for the next big thing? Examples of how this could factor out for existing relationships. So Judgment. Yes, we're in it, and yes, we're going to do it. And it could be something like childbirth, marriage, reconciliation. because some of you have been through some challenges. This could be, the loss of someone or something. This could be a secret that comes to the surface. This can be family pressure that's weighing in on all of these things. And despite that, or maybe because of that, you're like, I want to walk this path with you. Yes, we can do this. But only if it's what both of you want, especially what you want. So check in with your partner, with yourself, and say, yeah, are we good? If we're good, we can do anything we want. And judgment is about as, breaking that sort of glass ceiling as possible. Anything can happen because you're literally rising up, okay? So if you can get through this, or if you just got through something major, the sky is the limit, okay? Other things that I see for current relationships. The healing card, like I said, that was my channeled message. So take time, don't rush, do it right, whatever it is you're trying to heal or rebuild. I actually think that some of you might be able to, like I said, buy or sell a house. There's some great movement with finances. It does look like things are going to take a leap and bound. It may not happen overnight. This could be a 1, 2, or 3 month process, but you're headed in the right direction. Listening to one another is one of the biggest challenges. Secrets, this is not the month to keep a secret. You got to speak your mind. You have to be honest. You have to lead with integrity. If you do that, again, the sky is the limit. If you don't, that's going to block progress. Talk honestly about desires and specifically goals when it comes to money. Just make sure that that clear communication is where it needs to be. All right, let's move on to those that are seeking love. Can you find it? Yes. But what we're focusing on really is your own empowerment here. If we get Emperor, Empress energy, it's really about knowing that you are complete in and of yourself. You are whole. And when you really feel that sense of completeness, you'll naturally pull in someone else who's done the work. Some of you are very ready to start a family. This is a paternal card. This card represents a bigger family unit. This can be the birth. So by the way, I forgot to mention that. I think I did say judgment can be a decision to kind of start the family, but that holds true whether you are in a relationship or looking for love. I see the child connected to that. There could also be someone who has a child with another person. This can be an ex, because we see kind of like this cord cut, but a person kind of still in the picture. So that explains it. Now, if you meet someone this month, the devil can be a Capricorn, of course, but it can also be someone who is still attached or not ready to give you the level of commitment that you're ready for, which is kind of why we have a solo card. This is saying it's better to wait for someone who's on the level than to make do with someone that isn't. And there's multiple options this month. So one of the things that I'm seeing here is younger or less experienced energy. So be mindful of that, and ask yourself if you're ready to kind of like do some of the teaching or the sort of mentoring that might be necessary if you're bringing in someone with less experience. One of the ways that you might meet someone this month is through spiritual expansion here. So we have Buddha. This could be yoga retreat, some sort of intuitive development, church or faith-oriented activities. You could meet someone who's also working on themselves. This can help you find that more experienced partner if you're noticing that your traditional sort of circle of friends, family, etc., aren't yielding that kind of partnership. So the cards actually show you a way to find that higher partner. And what we might be looking at this month, rather than love, is a teacher or a soulmate that isn't necessarily romantic. It could be more platonic. So I call it as I see it, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here. There are younger or less experienced souls coming forth. There's a higher soul that may just simply be there to help you discover your own power, and that's just as powerful. Let's move on to those that are single and happy. You got the moon in reverse, and this represents introspective, reflective, personal development sort of energy, and also sometimes taking the road less traveled. So the wolf and the coyote on this card represent instinct and training, and the path in front of you is somewhere in the middle. Really making sure that you're using, again, your own north compass. If there's anything that you've been previously maybe a little bit afraid to do, this is a chance to overcome the fear and go for it, particularly since in the outcome we have this beautiful Two of Wands. you're deciding this is the time, this is the moment to give it a shot. If not now, then when? And this is a chance for you really to go after that dream, that hope, or that vision. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at the final portion of the expanded forecast. We're going to look at destiny. We have a beautiful energy coming through here. Sandalphon coming forth, building the bridge. Let's read this. It says, your role is to create and to create a connection between heaven, earth, and all hearts. I stopped with the create piece because creativity is so powerful, and this particular card is empowered by High Priestess, which is channeling, creating, and trusting. So I feel like this is a time to just kind of be in that flow of creativity. And, you know, when we were looking at the Eight of Pentacles and I said this is a card of building, absolutely. Anybody can decide to build, to create at any phase in life. So this is a chance, if you don't see it, to create it. Because that Death card here can represent a dead end where, you know, it didn't work out in the past, but you're going to use your creative energy now and your vision now to overcome that and forge something bigger, better, and brighter. All right, beautiful cards, beautiful messages. Let's take it one step further. If you watch my videos, you know I always leave room for a final question from you. So in this moment in time, go ahead, ask that final question, whatever it is that you need some clarity on, and let's see what Spirit has to say. All right, if you asked a yes or no question, this is a yes. This is the Three of Wands in reverse, but notice what it says here, fulfillment. The wish is coming to fruition. Whatever you seek could be happening in real time. Normally, this person is standing on top of a hill looking at ships coming in the distance. In this particular card or spread, what we have here is someone that represents the third wand themselves. They have the bow and arrow. So this is the own act of creating or bringing it into fruition. Lots of constructing and sort of building energy coming forth. So absolutely connected to this building the bridge Sandalphon message. So you can make it happen. But that's the sort of caveat here. Yes, but it might require rolling up your sleeves. It may require taking a few steps back and looking over there. Three of Wands is about making sure you've left no rock unturned, that you've looked down each and every path because it's there, but it may not be the obvious choice. And as a timing sort of question, it's now. But the reason it may not be clear is because you might have limited the scope, you might have limited the direction, you might have created some sort of unnecessary barrier that no longer needs to be there. So open your mind up to all of the different ways that your question could come to fruition. And this is a travel card too, so it might be time to travel because we have this one, which normally has a map on it, the Two of Wands. We definitely have a travel energy with this and then also with this. So I do see a trip on the horizon for many of you, or a decision to like get out there and explore. All right. What an exciting reading today. So much movement, so much change. And I think as long as you embrace the necessary change, you're going to be headed in the right direction. If you enjoyed this, and I hope you did, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let me know what's resonating. Let me know what your blocks are. Let me know how you're moving past them. And again, which part of this you really felt inspired by. You can also follow me if you'd like to on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all the major platforms, nicholasashbaugh.com on Blue Sky. And you can go to my website, which is also nicholasashbaugh.com, for more information about me. Just a quick note that I don't offer private readings, nor do I use direct messages, so always be mindful of any imposters out there and let me know if you see them. If you would like to show a little bit of love and support, you can do super stickers and also become a supporting member. This helps me with special projects like my podcast. By the way, you can listen to the latest episode on the podcast tab. Many thanks for everybody that's been supportive over that effort. I really do appreciate it. And that, my friends, is everything. I think Apollo's behind us again, sending us some love. What a nice way to wrap up for today. Let's give him a little pat on the head and then we will sign off. Hey, buddy. Thanks for saying hi. Such a good boy, as you are. Aw. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Check out the daily, weekly, and monthly videos, all on my main tab, as well as the podcast. I'll see you soon.